Can you hear me?
I can hear you just okay.
Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I always
We
can.
are live. Yeah, I had to switch my audio.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an Oprah Color episode if there wasn't some sort of
Yeah,
awkward beginning
that is
of
right.
stuff. You did it. You're here. You survived the plague.
We did end the occupation. Yes!
That's right. Human shield children out there for all the world to see.
That makes me so angry beyond any words that can express how anger makes me feel.
Okay,
It's over, though.
it's over.
It's over. I can now, hopefully soon, go and get comic books from the store. Because this is what it's all about. If I'm being honest, it's, coming up to 4 weeks without me going and getting new books.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Well, like freedoms for some are infringing on everything for others. So
that's right. It's funny. I saw a meme about like I'm creating the new Avengers, and it was the guy in the Eagles hoodie screaming from his balcony. It was the other guy banging his pot with the spoon.
Yep.
And then it was the girl that created the class action lawsuit, that 21-year-old. And it's like, these are my new Avengers.
Not all heroes wear capes, right?
Not all heroes wear capes. That is correct, sir.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wonder where we would be in this world without memes.
It would be a darker place if that's even possible. Because I feel like memes help lighten the mood, or at least help people express themselves and make light of a situation or try and lighten a situation. So it would not be a good place.
No, it's a good icebreaker to get back to a conversation with somebody I maybe haven't spoken with for a while.
That's right.
One to lighten the mood, one to ease the tension,
one just for stupidity.
Oh yeah,
that's okay, right?
Yeah, it's part and parcel with everything. Stupidity wins all.
It was almost 24-hour television, though, watching the push forward.
Were you watching that from start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say like from start to finish, but I had it on in the background on Friday afternoon. And then I would wake up, or I'd check it out throughout the night. And then Saturday morning, I'd wake up and check it out yesterday. And then by yesterday afternoon, I was like, oh, it's pretty much all but over. So it's just going to be now what happens afterwards, right? The aftermath of it all. So
I've always felt like Canada wanted to be like the US, like really badly. That now we're like the stupidity is here, and here we go.
Yeah, we're here. Like, we're here. And I've always felt that we were, I've held out hope that we were smarter than the States in terms of not being sucked into misinformation, not, losing sight of what we're protesting about, not bringing kids to protests and using them as shields. I thought we were smarter than that collectively. Sure, you'd have a few bad apples in the tree, but if this last 3 weeks has shown me anything, it's that no, we're just a nation of fools.
Yeah, like Robin Williams used to describe Canada as what, like the annoyed neighbors, upstairs neighbors to like a really cool party.
Yeah.
But now we are the ones that are crashing the party.
That's right.
And they're all looking at us going, what is going on up in Canada?
Trying to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Trying to get some sleep.
Guys are too loud. Just lower the register, lower the volume.
You know what, though? I will take this opportunity to thank all of the police officers and frontline responders and everyone that's just done their job this entire time, through and through. And, yeah.
And who can we send that police bill to? Because that is going to be fun come tax.
So I was saying to Jade, like, that the government is giving, or has approved $20 million for local businesses that have suffered. I think each business can get up to $10,000 of non-repayable funds to help them through this. And I said to Jade, I'm like, that's how I know that they're not going to let this slide and that they're going to go after everybody that was there, is that they're going to get that $20 million from all of these protesters that have, been charged or, have been there for longer than they should have.
Mm-hmm.
Not even protesters, occupiers. But I feel like they're not going to stop. Like, this is not over. It's over in the sense that, tangibly it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of after the fact, it's long from done. They're going to be going after these folks and making them pay for the disruption that they caused. And I feel like the $10,000 non-repayable that they're offering to local businesses is one example of it. So
yeah, I'm just curious because like these people had, one would assume, like residences, places other than
jobs.
And that they've been away from for a month.
Yep.
Like, how do you even go back to? Well, yeah, especially at work. Like, either if you haven't already been fired, did you use your entire vacation allotment?
I'm gonna use my 14 days vacation, sir. Well, and that's the thing. These truckers, they get paid like generally, and never been a trucker, so I don't know this for certain, but I would tend to believe that they get paid per kilometer, per load. Like there's some sort of ratio that they're paid off of. They get paid to move and to deliver.
Yeah.
Well, they're not delivering shit and they're not moving shit. So they're not getting paid. And it just makes you wonder, these self-employed truckers, they're not getting any income in other than maybe perhaps the crowdfunding that was taking place through the two that I can't remember. Anyway.
What's it like? That's what I was jokingly saying to people. Like when we had that 20 centimeters of snow and I got the notice that I'm not allowed to park on the street, my freedom to park on my road to clear my driveway was taken away from me. I got to go protest.
I know. I did.
a temporary like
measure,
mandate or measure that I know is going to end at some point. You just deal with it and move on.
Yeah.
But here we are.
What can you say? So, hey, were there, what was the crowd like at the Canadian Tire place? It's not full capacity, is it?
No. Current restrictions guidelines have increased capacity to all live event venues.
Okay.
I guess that summarizes all of them is 50% of what you normally can have.
Because I saw last night on the doubleheader of Hockey Night in Canada in Vancouver that they welcomed a full house. And that's why I kind of was thrown off because I thought it was just incrementally. Maybe it's provincial too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think provincial. We are 50% until the 1st of March.
1st of March. Okay.
And then it sounds like all those restrictions are gone. And then probably mid-March, even your mask mandates will be over, which is supposed to also include schools.
And like we have to get to that point though, right? We have to get to a point where we learn to live with it. And I've always said that I felt that the first indication of that was CTV or CBC or local news not reporting on what the daily case count was in Ottawa. And when they stopped doing that, I was okay with it because we need to get to the point where we just stop reporting on that and maybe focusing on more things that are more important in this case, like ICU admissions and related. Like you got to sort of incrementally move yourself out of that sandbox. And so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because at a certain point when you're like, 300 this day, 400 this day, at what point is that not, in some degree, a scare tactic by the media?
Or just deflating too, like,
Yeah, like numbers are going down. Oh no, numbers went up today. Here we go.
Yeah, just when I thought they were going down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, at least for the next, I would say the rest of the year, to see if things start to go. Because I know already, just based on talking to family, that there are still people that you can be 100%, you can have no masks. There are a lot of people that are still not going to be willing to go and do things that they normally have done.
Yeah, I think that will take time. I think you're going to have one of two. There's going to be no middle ground. There's going to be people that are just cautious about it, or people that are just going to right in with both feet because it's been so long that they haven't done anything, and then they're going to throw caution to the wind and they're just going to go for it. So I feel like it's going to be one of the other. Like there's going to be one end of the spectrum and the other end.
I wonder if there's still people washing their groceries.
No, I mean,
there's got to be one person that's still. I don't believe him.
No, we did though. We did. I remember watching the YouTube videos on like how to properly. Okay, so you quarantine off this one section of the countertop, and like this is your dirty section, and this is your clean section, and you put like a piece of tape down the middle, and it's like, oh,
yeah. We used to put like if you order takeout, you'd put the container on a plate, and then you'd empty it onto another plate, and then that plate would go directly into the dishwasher.
Or like if there were like cans. Like if you were buying cans of soup or like Chef Boyardee or whatever, non-perishable food items, and you'd throw them in the freezer or in the garage and just let them hang out overnight.
Yeah. Put the gloves on to bring them in too, because you don't want to touch them.
Our grandparents tell us stories of like measles and mumps and polio and all this, and we tell our grandkids stories of cans and non-perishable food items and leaving them in the garage. And
there's always a story. It's like, I had polio, I lost 3 legs, and I still went to school the next day.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to wash my Chef Boyardee, and I still live to tell the tale.
Whoa, tell us again, Grandpa.
Hey, we're over here, Grandpa. Sorry. Yeah.
That's the COVID. It's the COVID brain, the long hauler.
I tell you. So Olympics.
Yeah.
We haven't, I think last time I was on the show, the Olympics either just started or hadn't started. So what have you, like, what was your Olympic experience?
It was minimal because of the truckers. So a lot of viewership was kind of devoted to that, especially last weekend. But I watched some, like the usual, the speed skating and
love speed skating.
The snow cross. We watched the one where the
snowshoeing,
snowboard cross. Sorry. Yeah, it was good. And some of the aerials and the ski jump. Man, those guys get air on the ski jump.
It's insane. It's insane.
Show the kids the bobsleigh.
No fear. Hey, in Jamaica, I think made through with bobsleigh.
Yeah, they were back. Made me want to watch Cool Runnings.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Peace be the journey.
Yeah, I realized that I absolutely love the Winter Olympics. I love watching it. It's like it's the only thing that takes up my TV time, with the exception of the occupation. But the speed skating and the figure skating and the aerials and the hockey, like everything, it's just everything about it. I love the competition between countries for best in the world. Top 1, 2, 3, like the heartbreak, the defeat, like the joy of winning it, like everything about it. I absolutely love the Olympics, and I forget that I love the Olympics until the Olympics are happening. And then they'll be on this wave after it's done, and then I'll forget about it for 3 years, and then I'll be right back on the bandwagon.
What's your take on professionals partaking in what's supposed to be the best of amateur sport? Like the NHLers playing hockey
but see, and here's the thing, like that's the only example that you can provide, because I would say like the next
I think you can probably sorry. Summer Olympics, I think, is you find more of that, like the NBA's, like
soccer,
like a Tony Hawk,
soccer,
skateboarding, soccer,
basketball, for sure in summer. But I would say for winter, like it doesn't really concern me all that much, because to me, I see it only being for one sport, and the closest professional in the winter sports might be X Games, but even still, that's professional amateur.
Yeah.
So I think it's insulated from that conversation, but I think
even the stuff they do, like X Games, is a competition based thing. It's not.
It is,
82 games here and there.
Yeah, and I think the only reason why it's such a conversation with the Winter Olympics and hockey is because hockey, of those sports, it's the biggest jump in skill from like what it was that we saw, which, you know, I think Canada did good and they fell short, but it was a result of it not being the best on best. But it's such a jump to that next level when you're talking about like Sidney Crosby's and, you know, Connor McDavid's and whatnot. Like so I'm okay with it. I think I'm not too bothered by it. Now, when it comes to summer, yeah, I think there's more of an argument for it, but
because they have golf now and baseball.
Well, they have golf. Like, well, I mean, who is the female golfer from Smith Falls?
Brooke Henderson.
Brooke Henderson. Yeah, thank you. She was in the last Olympics. And golfers on the men's side. So, like, yeah, there's definitely a lot more opportunity for professionalism to enter into those sports from the summer side of things, but from the winter side, like, I think it's still pretty good.
What's your take on athletes competing for countries that are not of their birth? Like Americans in like Team China or something like that.
No, like I'm okay with it if it's like because one of their parents was, you know, from the Netherlands instead of England, or you know, like I'm okay with it. I think there was one example of when it was in Vancouver, and it was this Australian who was formerly a Canadian, something Biggs Davis or something like that. I can't remember, but he went and competed for Australia out of spite.
Yeah, I think it was because he didn't make the team or something.
Because he didn't make the team. Yeah. And granted, that might be the case for in some instances, but I feel like as a non-professional athlete, as a amateur athlete, you owe it to yourself to take every opportunity to compete at the best levels.
Yeah.
And if you have a legitimate opportunity to compete for another country and you go so far as to move to that country and train and adopt to that country's way of life and be a part of that country, then I think it's okay. I think there would be an issue if, you know, your mom was German and your dad was English, and then you wanted to compete for England, but you had nothing to do with that country. You still lived in Germany. You still, like, you know, all of your money, like everything you invested was in that country, and there's nothing that you had to do with England. Then yeah, I think there'd be a bit of an issue. But
and we couldn't have another Olympics without some sort of Russian doping scandal.
Why don't we just do an Olympics where like you're just allowed to use steroids?
Yeah,
you know, like let's see how far.
Like that was an SNL skit, and that's what seems everybody's going with now. Just drug Olympics, the all drugs Olympics.
The Weekend Update. What was it? The Weekend Update. Not Dennis. It was Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis Miller. I think
Dennis Miller.
As soon as that came out, it was all over social.
Yeah. Let's see how far we can push that fucking envelope.
Why not? That's like the argument we had about the whole home run slugfest with everybody being doped up.
Just do it.
People will watch it. Mind you, I'm sure there'll be like until somebody like ODs or something, and then the fun's taken out of it.
You know what though? Treat it like COVID. Just don't report it. Just sweep it under the rug. Bring in the next guy. You know, have reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you on the team? Oh, I'm on the team in case anyone dies.
Yeah. Just a little too much in the syringe.
That's right. Yeah. I'm just here in case the needle is a bit too dirty and misses.
Yeah. Did you partake in the Super Bowl?
I did. I was very happy. Very happy. For Matt Stafford, and that was it. I feel like he deserves to win the Super Bowl after so many years of playing on a shit team.
Many years.
Many years. And still being a professional about it. And I swore to myself that I would never cheer for a Rams team ever again because they beat my Titans in Super Bowl. Was it 35, I think?
I still remember that tackle at the goal line.
It pains me because all Kevin Dyson had to do was extend his feet. Instead, he kept his legs together and tried to fall over. Yeah. And if he had just separated his legs, and then he would have made it and he was a yard short. Pains me. Anyway, so I swore I'd never cheer for another Rams team. But it's hard not to with Matthew Stafford. Classy guy. His wife went through a lot, supported her, never complained once in Detroit, just always went out there to do his best to win the game. So he deserves it. And I also feel like no one no one deserved it more than him, I guess you could say, that was playing in that game.
So watch the halftime show.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it. I was a bit cautious though, because whenever they were dancing on the top portion of that house or whatever, like the setup, it was like bouncing. I was like, oh fuck, like someone's going over. Someone's gonna fall right through. It's gonna be a whole thing. Dre's playing on the piano. That piano's 300 pounds. It's gonna fall through.
Yeah,
it's gonna be calamity. It's gonna be awful. But it didn't happen.
Just waiting for the worst to happen.
But I did like it. It was very nostalgic, but very fitting, being that it was in LA.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people. It must be a generational thing that were all for it, and then just as much people who were very, not to say against it, but very wary of like this isn't big. Like this isn't a good show.
I felt it could have been a little bit more spectacular.
The only surprise was 50, right?
The only surprise was 50. Maybe you could argue and say that there was a couple of surprises when Dre was playing Tupac's "I Ain't Mad at You" on the piano. Like there were a few like small minor surprises, but I felt like it was such a huge buildup in like advertising and leading up, like in the championship games and even leading into the playoffs, and
it's these icons, right?
Like, oh my god, these icons, exactly, like Mary J. Blige and Snoop and Dre and Eminem and all of them. That when it actually happened, it was very confined to like a short space, and like they weren't moving around, and then the only person that was actually off of the structures was Kendrick, and he was hidden inside of like a bunch of different dancers that were imitating Dre. So I just felt like it could have been a bit more like, wow, like a bit more pizzazz, but I think they were maybe relying too much on the music as opposed to the theatrics of it, but I could be wrong.
To this day, my favorite was Prince.
Prince is amazing.
When he's playing Purple Rain and it started raining, you'll never top that.
I would have to say that my favorite was Tom Petty, and only because I was there in person. So that's the only reason why.
Yeah, attendance bias.
That was just a tit. That was I was at Super Bowl 42 when New England was undefeated and they went in to play against the Giants, and then the Tyree catch, and then they lost to the Giants.
I called going in and said, "There's no way they're going to have a perfect season because there has to be a storyline of the upset."
I'm not even lying a little bit when I say that I would say probably about 80 to 85% of that stadium was cheering for New York. And it was like, it was so uneven in terms of who people were cheering for, New York versus New England at the time. And I think a lot of it was out of spite, but I was wearing a Brady jersey because I bought it from my buddy who's a huge fan. But I walked in, it was like everyone, like people wearing like 18-1 shirts and 18-1 mugs and like just hats and everything. Yeah. And
that must have been a huge seller.
It was I mean, it was amazing. It was an experience of a lifetime. But Tom Brady. Tom Petty, pardon me.
Football fans, they are very spiteful, and they don't forget stuff.
No. Maybe CFL fans do. That's a different kind of football, though. Right? We embrace the enemy.
Yeah, like if it's on your team, then you forget.
That's right.
Very rarely do you get the we don't want him either.
Did you go to the Grey Cup when it was here in Ottawa a couple of years ago?
No, I did not know.
No.
I heard it was fun though.
I can imagine being fun. It's a good venue. My opinion.
It's usually cold though here in Canada in November.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't get the fun warm climates throughout the year.
No, we don't. No. It's 9 months of winter. So what are you going to do?
Listen to a groundhog. It says early spring.
Okay, so hold on. What does that mean? So when Punxsutawney Phil sees his own shadow, it's 6 weeks of more winter?
Yeah.
Okay, and then if he doesn't see his own shadow, then it's 6 weeks of
an early spring. Yeah.
Okay.
But no matter how you spin it on a calendar,
bullshit.
It's still 6 weeks regardless. I guess it's just the implication that the weather will change sooner than the calendar.
I'm pretty sure that I heard this year that one of the groundhogs died on Groundhog Day when they were going to.
That's amazing.
And it's like, oh, that's just fitting. That's fitting. Like, and does he see his? Oh wait, no.
No, he saw nothing.
He saw nothing.
There will be no spring this year.
It's like Game of Thrones, right? Like it's perpetual winter. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, kids. There'll be no spring this year.
No.
All right. So to the slides, or we call the headlines. So the big thing leading up to the Super Bowl was always going to be the commercials.
Pepsi, Doritos. Right.
And there's a lot of nostalgia. There was Jim Carrey brought back Cable Guy, Mike Myers brought back Dr. Evil, but I was not anticipating that Mr. Doctor was going to have a new trailer come out. I assumed we were going to get one a little bit later because I think the first teaser came out not that long ago.
First teaser came out as the second credit scene in the Spider-Man No Way Home.
So December, and here we are, was beginning of February, and you got a now full length trailer. You wanted to rap over this. Now I have not tested, but I do know we can unmute our mic, so I will play this video and hopefully we can talk over it. So let's take a look at Mr. Doctor Strange into the multiverse.
Every night.
So we are unmuted.
I dream the same dream. And then the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our
I think you have to unmute yourself.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes.
Hey.
And we don't know who or what will walk through it. Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right. I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
Here it is.
Ultravox.
We should tell him the truth.
Is that Savage Land?
It has to be. It has to be.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! Become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Marvel Zombies.
Where do you even begin with that?
Well,
I feel like Marvel is trolling us.
yeah, because part of it would say so. It seems like when Wanda and Strange are walking through what looks
The
like
orchard.
the orchard, that's obviously a vision that she's projecting based on his clothes later on when she's given that villain speech.
And on that point, the commercial that was in the Super Bowl versus the trailer that was released online, it was almost scene for scene but
Yeah.
Orchard versus like the reality. So to your point, I agree with you. Dang.
So I think Savage Land is
Savage Land. Yeah.
Do you think, since it looks like we're getting Professor X, maybe we get another known Marvel character who's familiar with Savage Land?
Thing is, I feel as though there has to be, and I don't know if it's going to be something as simple as like maybe this is Reed Richards, because I feel as though they cannot just like willy-nilly throw, oh, here's Professor X, and here's the introduction of the X-Men and the X-verse in the MCU in a trailer, and not only in a trailer but the first like feature-length trailer.
Yeah. So
I feel like it's there has to be something else, like, and whether it's him from another Earth, which is likely the case, and the battle that goes on in that citadel, maybe he dies like really quickly, like maybe his on-screen presence is like 2 minutes or 5 minutes and he gets annihilated and he's done with, and like that just leaves the speculation open that on the actual 616 Earth there's a Professor X. So there's a lot of things that they could play with, but that was the one thing that I didn't like from the trailer when I saw it from the first time. Was that
rather than just not have that at all.
Just don't just don't. But there's been a lot of talk about, is that Superior Iron Man? Is that, is that Photon? Is that Captain Marvel? Is it a variant? Like there's been so much talk about who that mysterious figure is that's coming and fighting, presumably Wanda, because I think it's going to be Wanda that's the main villain, as well as the reverse Doctor Strange, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, what was not Superior, but there was a Defender Strange.
Well, there's Defender Strange, who's like the good Strange, and I guess he might turn bad, or he might be zombified. And
that's what people are speculating.
Yeah.
So many Stranges in this one.
But I feel also that it's like typical Sam Raimi type movie where it's just going to be like a bunch of quick hits, like massive craziness that's happening. Like we might get that Savage Land scene. We might not even see it in the movie, but we might also, if we do, we might see it.
Marvel's good for that too.
We might see it for like 20 seconds, and like boom, there's a quick hit of the Savage Land, and there's Sauron that's flying by, and that's all you get. And then we might see,
or maybe we'll get Wolverine, since he's very,
or maybe we might get Wolverine. But then the whole what if, the what if universe breaking into this trailer, because there was this breakdown of the trailer that was really slowed down.
See, where they were like showing the one shot where it shows the room and counting the chairs and trying to figure out who's all going to be with the Illuminati.
Like that. And then also but there was one where like one of the mirrors had broken, and on one side of the mirror it was like animation, and then on the other side it was like real life. So is that the what if universe breaking through? But to your point, like in the Citadel with the Illuminati, I've heard Black Panther, and it's going to be a great way for Michael B. Jordan to be introduced as the new Black Panther. Blade, Mr. Fantastic, like even Mr. Fantastic from like the shite movies, I'd take that. That's why I feel with Professor X, like there has to be something. Like he's not the main, like he's the deflection,
Yeah, if he might be like Basil exposition, just there to point us in a way and explain it all, and then like you said, bites it.
What about like Doctor Doom? Like what if Doctor Doom was part of that Illuminati? Did you ever read the Illuminati?
I did not.
You should. It's quite good. It's quite good. But yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, then there's the possibility of the Tony Stark coming back as the Superior Iron Man.
Or Tom Cruise.
Well, Tom Cruise as Tony Stark.
Yeah, or I mean, like, so there was also people saying, okay, so Photon or Superior Iron Man, it's one of those two.
Or both. Who knows?
Or both. Who knows? But then there was also like, what about, let's not forget now that Kane, one of the versions of Kane is Nathaniel Reed, and he's Iron Lad. So maybe it's Iron Lad, you know? And so like it's a variation of Iron Man and Iron Lad, Young Avengers. Like there's so much to play with. And I think that's it. Like I think it's almost like you're at a rave concert, right? And there's all these flashes and lights, and you're trying to like look at the DJ and have a good time and, you know, like stay focused, but you can't because so much shit's being thrown at you. And I just hope that the final version is something that will just blow your mind away. But we've talked about this last time in that I feel like we are becoming a spoiled group of MCU fans where we just need we need endgame type storylines for every movie, and we just completely say fuck it to the build-up part of it, you know? Yeah.
It's true.
That's just how we are.
I think maybe the Marvel TV series is gonna help with that, because that's where I think they'll have the build-up. They'll have the movies as the big to do, and the little rundowns will be the series leading up.
Yeah, that's true. But like I feel like there's lots of potential. What is this, May? Is it May? May?
First weekend of May.
Yeah. Man. So good.
You're like, damn, it's February.
I know.
Oh, we got Batman in March.
That's the only thing I haven't seen any trailers from was Batman. Like I think I might have seen the first one, but I don't remember it.
Oh, that's this Doctor Strange, according to rumors, it's not very long. It's just over 2 hours.
See,
it's not No Way Home-esque where it's almost 3 hours.
See, and I think this is again yet another piece of proof that Marvel is trolling us, because they're giving us everything that we want, but then they're like, oh, it's only going to be 120 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll
get a lot of stuff, but it's going to happen really fast.
You will get the Savage Land, but for 4 seconds.
Yeah, what you saw in that trailer is all you're getting.
You will literally get Professor X say that one line, and then a piece of ceiling will fall on him, and he will die.
He'll die quick and painless.
That's right. He won't even see it coming. So what kind of madness is that?
Yeah.
You know.
Also, in May, they announced that season 4 of Stranger Things is finally happening. Is that something you got to on Netflix?
We've only ever seen the first season. We absolutely loved it, and we fell off of it. But am I right in understanding that there has been like a pretty significant delay between 3 and 4?
COVID, yeah.
Is it COVID related? Yeah.
Yep. They just couldn't shoot.
How long are we talking here? Like 2 years, or is it just a year?
Yeah, I think that the entire duration. They just got back to it last year. So when did season 3? Our typical open collar Google session.
Okay, because the thing that concerns me when it comes to delays and the stars of a show are younger kids is that they tend to age fairly quickly. You know, so if there's a 2-year
season 3
span,
came out in 2019.
Yeah,
so
a lot can, development of kids can happen a lot in 2 years. That, will it ruin the show? Will it ruin the spirit of the show? I guess, I don't know. So. I don't watch it, so. And are you caught up on it?
Oh yeah, I've watched that multiple times. I'm rewatching it now in preparation for.
And I might have to do that. Did they stay with the 80s theme all the way through the seasons?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's one thing that I really liked, was that feel,
Yeah. The third season is like really ingrained in the 80s. Like it is, it's like set in a mall. So you got like the
that's cool
80s music. You got like the arcades. You have like the workout classes that you used to see in the malls and stuff like that. And they do, more homages to more 80s classic films.
And it's one connected story, right? Like it's not just siloed stories within each season.
It all flows together. Like season 1 obviously has dealing with
Well, he makes it back from the
Will
opposite
Byers,
side.
I wouldn't say kidnapping, but the disappearance of him, and then season 2's dealing with the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
And like season 3 is more dealing with these kids, and now that they're getting older, and season 4 picks up, I guess, essentially from the conclusion of that.
What's the girl's name with the powers? M or L?
11.
11.
So L, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to pick it up. This might have been a casualty of me watching a show with Jade, and because she wasn't into it, I stopped watching it. So I'm going to blame her. But
it's always the wife's fault.
Honestly.
Anything that's geek related that doesn't get to be fully, enjoyed is the fault of the wife.
How many episodes generally in a season? Like 8 to 10? Okay.
I think season 2 had 9.
digestible.
Yeah. Season 2 had 9, and then they went back to, I think, 8 with season 3. But now we see part 1 and part 2, so it's going to be, I guess, a skosh longer. And they also confirmed that it's going to wrap up with season 5. So 1 more to go.
Okay. Stranger Things. I want to
highly recommended.
I want to watch there's that Inventing Anna that's on Netflix that we're continuing on with Ozark right now, but once that's done we're going to start. So we're like those people that we're catching up on shows that are old.
Yeah.
And once that's done, then I think we're going to start this Inventing Anna documentary. That'll probably be the next thing. But I might have to catch up on Stranger Things leading up to May. What was it, 27th?
Yeah. The last documentary I watched was the one about the Beanie Babies craze. Beanie Mania, I think it was called. Mainly because my dad told me to watch it, because in the 90s, he was one of those people that was in on it and was selling the shit out of those things.
Was he making like money? Like, was there money to be made back then?
Yeah, like we were talking about it over Christmas, and they said they completely re-renovated their house, and they said everything was paid for from sales of Beanie Babies.
No shit.
They bought 2 cars. They redid their house. Yeah.
So what would he do? Would he go to would he just literally go on toy hunts, like going to stores across the city?
No, he threw out.
Because this was before the internet. You got to remember.
Yeah,
too, right?
This was just, I guess, going through people that he knew. Like he used to run a sports store in here, so he had vendors and distributors and stuff like that. So he's just reaching out to those people, and he would get boxes and boxes shipped to the house, and then he would just sell them. I had so many of those. Like that's like we went to a friend's birthday party and don't need to pick up a gift. Just throw a couple of these in a bag,
and they'll be ecstatic too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my aunt and uncle in Calgary used to they were like just entrepreneurs. Like they just they dabble in a bunch of different shit.
Yep.
And one of it was they'd have these kiosks in the middle of the malls, and when Beanie Babies was huge, that was one of their shticks, was they would just try and resell Beanie Babies as like a kiosk in the mall.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did. I never asked like financially how it was, but I just remember that it was if you were in the know, there was a lot of money to be made for sure. But it was as fast as it came in, it probably was just as fast leaving, Yeah,
he said that it's also in the documentary that when the head of Thai, just for no reason other than from the sounds of especially the people working at the distribution center in Ontario, just to be a dick, shut it down. That was basically the end of the sales here.
Just to be an asshole.
Yeah, he wanted, if I remember correctly, it's like he wanted the buyer list of everyone in there, and the guys working in the factory just no, we're not giving you everybody's names, this price and stuff like that. And then he's just like, okay, you're done.
Huh. Did your dad ever get it? Was your dad a collector or
No,
still is a collector?
just
Like,
just somebody wanted
so
get
what
rich
was
quick,
it like?
right?
What was it about the Beanie Babies? Like, what had that little light?
Just overheard something that this was selling and got on the ground floor at the right time. And
Huh. Has he done anything like that since? Because Beanie Babies, we're talking like 25 years ago, 20, 30,
through
25,
friends
30
of
years
his
ago.
that like run different videos in stores, like he more so sells digital download codes for movies and stuff on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, he also has friends that like own stores that collect memorabilia, and he sells that stuff off.
Because I try and think like what what would be the most recent thing that was like Beanie Babies, like in our day and age, like what was the last thing that was like such a craze where you could make a ton of money off of it?
Like the only flash in the pan things I can think that around the same time was Pogs, but that again, you weren't really making money. That was just kids' form of gambling.
Yeah, but I feel like there must have been some stuff like more recently where it was like
Pokemon cards was kind of big.
Yeah.
Started making comeback during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's the only other thing I can think of.
There's always something though, right?
Yeah.
Like there's always something within like, every 10 years.
It's
you get
usually like a
this thing
toy,
where
right?
It's like, yeah, and that's it. Like, another one was, remember Tickle Me Elmo?
Yep.
That was huge. Like if you got that.
A couple of years ago, I know a lot of people were trying to find those fingerlings, those little monkeys that made noise when you hung upside down.
Yeah, and then there was also, wasn't there ones like they were in like an egg? I forget what they're called,
I
but
can't
there
remember
was
what
like
they're
they
called.
were like
Hatchimals or
little
something.
hatchables or whatever. And
Yeah.
if you found those, you could sell it. And I always immediately go to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero, or not? Sorry, Jingle All the Way when he goes and finds the toy.
Yeah, and that movie was inspired by the Cabbage Patch Kids demand.
Was it really? Yeah. We went to Toys R Us today because Arlo's birthday is in March. So we had a couple of errands to do, and we're like, okay, we'll go to Toys R Us, and you can, tell us what you'd like for your birthday, and I'll take pictures. Well, after 549 pictures later, we were walking through the aisles, and like He-Man's making a return. And one of the toys that they sell is like Castle Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
And I shit you not, it's like carbon copy the Castle Grayskull from when I was a kid. And it's like, did they just like, this is brilliant that they just basically took an old model, redid it, repackaged it and sold it. Because I was like, I'm like looking at the back and like all the features that the toy had, and I'm thinking this is exactly what I had when I was a kid. It's just probably stronger plastic.
Oh, probably not even that. I bet you it's the same plastic, same
or maybe same plastic.
Did you notice the Kenner Marvel figures that were there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like straight out of like the 70s and 80s. This is why the show is visual now.
I have one of them somewhere, but it's my favorite character. Of course,
I saw those. I'm like, this is straight out of childhood extravaganza.
This is,
oh, it's way down under the desk.
It is, yeah. This is great podcast. But anyway, it's a.
At least I can still hear you. That's the main thing.
It's Daredevil. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. I can see your elbow. All these podcast listeners are loving this right now. There it is. There he is, Matt Murdock himself.
And the only reason why I bought him is because he was my favorite Marvel character. But if you can see,
what are we looking at?
Like there's no articulation, like
No,
none whatsoever.
It's like a Ken doll.
But people will go gangbusters over this.
Well,
that's
like,
wrong.
that's
like
the stuff I used to have.
There's some characters where I'm like Friday night I was playing poker with some buddies.
Yeah.
And in between games I was looking at figures. I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, maybe I'll buy this one. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
You're doing what any self-respecting person would do: is spend money on action figures.
But there's like, his arms move up like this. Like there's nothing. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen a really articulated 3.75-inch figure until the Garfield Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man came out. There was one. It was like 32 points of articulation for such a small figure. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
So I picked it up because I could not believe that you could move that character. It's somewhere in Parker's toy box. If I find it, I'll show you. It's insane.
Like I'm thinking like this guy is 3.75.
Yeah.
And this is probably from, I want to say from maybe like 2010 or so.
Kyle
and
Gardner.
Like and you have some not Kyle Gardner, Guy Gardner.
Oh, Guy, yes, Kyle.
But you do have some points of articulation, but very minimal, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Maybe 5, 6 with the head. But maybe it's like you just can't make that many with
Kirby. All he does is move his head.
See, that's sick though.
Just sits on the desk, right next to ET, who does nothing.
There's this
old point where he wants to go home.
Like old classic.
Love it. It's beat up
Secret
too. That's
Wars.
even better.
Oh yeah, I've had this forever.
I will say this though, I have my own Barbie.
Oh, that's wicked.
She stays on the stand.
So is that a legit Barbie like character?
Yeah.
Like modeled as
Mattel.
Oh,
She is
sick.
entirely.
And she's articulated in her elbows and
Nope. Same thing. Just up and down. The knees bend a little bit. But
where did you get that? I've never seen that before.
I have no idea. It was just sitting in my office one day. I'd have to ask the missus.
So I haven't been able to go to the comic book store.
As you mentioned.
In 4
Begrudgingly.
weeks. Yeah. So I was like, I've got to find some things to read. Because I'm running out of comics. So I came across this little gem. And I got this as a wedding gift, and we got married in 2010. Never read it. And I'm regretting it.
I also got married in 2010. The Omnibus. The Flash. Jeff Johns.
Volume 1.
That is a beast.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's and you always run like a hit or miss with older comics, of comics that were like in the early aughts or late 90s. Like it's either going to be like it just squeaks in and just hits all the marks of like good writing and good art, or it's bad writing and good art, or bad art and good writing. Like you never really have any consistency. But man, I'm telling you, this is so good. It's so, and I think, well, I knew this. I knew this all along, was that with the Flash TV show, a lot of the storylines and like characters and whatnot were from Jeff Johns' run with the Flash, because it's so iconic. Because he created, like, you had your standard Flash rogues that have been his enemies
Reverse
for
Flash,
decades,
Captain Boomerang,
decades and decades. Yeah, Captain Cold, whatever. But then he also introduced a ton more, like, Tar Pit and all these others, and Cicada and whatnot. And it's all in this omnibus, and it's just so amazing to read it. And anyway, I would just, it's what's getting me through this time of
your dry spell.
My dry spell. It's so good. It's so good. I looked at volume 2 and it was $80. I was like, I'm gonna have to wait until it goes on sale. I love it, but I don't love it that much.
And how long was his run? Does it cover all the volumes?
No, so this omnibus covers, I want to say 17 issues. And it's 17, it's a combination of, so it's the Flash 164 through 176.
Okay.
And then it's a one shot of the Flash Our Worlds at War, and then another one shot of the Flash Iron Heights, and then a third one shot of Flash Secret Files #3. So, and it also contains the art of one of my favorite artists, Scott Collins, who's just so amazing. One of the best artists of any Flash run. So I'd highly recommend it. I really would if you're looking for something to read. I'm just kicking myself in the ass that it took me this long to read this omnibus. So
it just looks like it could be just what's the term? Shit. I can't think of it. Just completely spaced what I was talking about.
like it looks like it could be like
daunting.
Yeah, no, but and see, I think that might have been one of the reasons why it took me so long to read it. Was because you look at it and it's like, holy shit, like that's like it's a commitment, right? Like you pick this up and you're committed for an extended amount of time and whatnot. But really, it's not. Like I find it's a very healthy balance of like flipping through the pages and the art, letting the art tell the story, and also like the words telling the story. So it's a very healthy balance between the two, where there aren't any issues where it's like, oh my god, there's so many like text bubble, like word bubbles. And
I was gonna say a lot of like Silver
it's
Age,
not like
Golden Age.
it's kind of like it's just after that 90s, 80s and 90s period, where in the 80s and 90s there was text or word bubbles galore. It's not that. And it also allows in certain points for the art to tell the story. So there's some, like this morning I read for about 45 minutes and I blew through like 5 issues, like very quick. If you wanted to slow down and appreciate the art, then it would take longer, but like it's not that long of a read.
When they're word bubble heavy, you're praying for a page turn for a splash page.
It's like
get me through another issue.
It's funny, I think of like when I was growing up, Chris Claremont, when he used to write the X-Men, it was just like, holy fuck, like it was a commitment to just read read one comic. And it's funny because I watch Oliver now, and there's certain comics that he reads where like it's really text heavy.
Yeah.
And he stops. He's like, I just gotta take a break. It's like, I'll get back to this. I'll read it tomorrow. It's just I can't read it in one sitting.
Might as well get the chapter book.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, so I find that funny because everybody that likes comics and has read comics goes through it at one point in their life,
Yeah, I think runs now tend to play the long game, so they're not as heavy with text and exposition.
Yeah.
They'll let the art do the talking for them, and then when they need to down the line, they'll start introducing more. Like that's why I found like Scott Snyder's run on the New 52 was easily digestible because you had a lot of you would get a lot of exposition at some points. It teetered off towards the end, and you got a lot of good artwork from
Greg Capullo.
Yeah,
and just easy to look at, right? Like, I would say with that Batman run, it was very like succinct in what he was trying to do with the story.
I think Zero Year and deep into the Court of Owls, it was more text.
Yeah. But then when you look at Greg Capullo's art, it's like you're like, okay, this is just beautiful to look at. Like you can just go along with it, right? That was one of the things I noticed about this omnibus too, is that there's the big difference between this book and like what we're reading now, or what we're seeing more often now, is that everything we tend to read now, it's like a build up and it's a build up and it's a build up. It's building up to the next story, or it's like trying to make this crazy story about, it's not just a simple story. It's like has to be mind blowing. Whereas these issues are like, it's a 3-story arc, or it's a 4-story arc, or it's a 1 issue, and it's just like boom, done. Move on to the next, and that's it. Like
they had a deadline, and they made it.
And it's like it's refreshing. Like it's refreshing to be like, okay, so there's a 3-story arc about him fighting Captain Cold and Captain Boomerang, and that's it. And 3 stories is done. Okay, next issue it starts off with him unpacking his apartment with Linda, and that's it. And then the next thing happens. Like there's no continuation. It's quite refreshing. So
because now you got these writers and artists contracted for X number of issues.
Oh, and just crossovers too. And it's like, you got to make sure that you touch on this that's being written by this person or drawn by this person. And like we're gonna we're gonna have these big plans for 2023, but because it's February of 2022, you got to start planting the seeds. It's like it becomes a bit too much, you know.
Well, plus with DC, with all the varying titles with the same characters, the overarching, and like, this has to be addressed over here in Detective Comics because it's happened in Batman. And
yeah.
So
Wait, what was the last thing you read?
Whew, it's been a while. I was going back and doing the trades of the Ninja Turtles and reading some old stuff that I've read a long time ago. Like I reread The Walking Dead from start to finish.
Are you talking about like old school, like Laird and Eastman?
No, the IDW stuff that was,
okay.
I think it's still going on now. And I read the IDW's Ghostbusters run before when they wrapped that up. Yeah, it's been a while. I always think of going back to it, but
when I was waiting for us to start tonight, I was just flipping through the TV just to see what was on, and I saw that there was a new episode of Walking Dead on season 11.
Season 11.
And this is the last season?
It's the last season.
That's crazy. 11 years.
Split up in 3 parts, yeah.
Wow. I mean, on one hand, I'm not surprised because it's as big as it is and whatnot, but I feel like I always get a bit pushed back when I see TV shows that are like seasons 10 and above. If you hit like that season 10 mark, it's like you are cemented into television history kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, no, it was definitely it changed the game in a lot of respects. By taking, like, I guess it wasn't, mainstream well known, but there was a lot of people that knew enough of The Walking Dead, obviously for someone to have an interest in adapting it.
How many
put AMC on the map? Really, that and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it would have to be Breaking Bad that did for sure. I think they got the runway for Walking Dead and the clearance to do as long of a story as they needed to because of Breaking Bad. What was before Breaking Bad though? Like
I can't really
Sopranos wasn't like Mad Men.
HBO. Oh, Mad Men. Yes, that one opened the door for those guys. Yeah, for sure. Never watched Mad Men. I've heard nothing but great things about it though.
It's amazing. You've never seen Mad Men?
No, I've always meant to.
Oh, it's good. You should watch it. It's 5 seasons. It's not that.
Yeah, plus cable, so it's like 13 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's not that. Jade and I, we never finished the last 6 episodes of the last season, but we got the gist of it. So,
my biggest beef with The Walking Dead, aside from seasons where they split characters up and they just drag out, I should say drag out. They kind of waste episodes by showing one character per episode. Is not that they strayed too much from the comics, but there's just some stuff in the comics that I would have liked to have seen them
fleshed out. Yeah.
Like just like Judith is around in the show, right? She didn't survive the comics. Like that big deviation from it kind of like I don't mind if they take a character who wasn't in a scene and make that like in the comics when the governor takes out Tyrese. Well, that didn't happen in the show. They switched that with Herschel. To me, that's not a big deal. But just like having a character who's supposed to be the big bag of the season, take out Lori, who's carrying a baby, is something I think that would have been, shocking to do even for that show. And that is what it's ripped.
Could they have done that though? Because that was so early in the book and also the TV show, right?
Yeah, season 4, right? Yeah, they could have.
Was it season? I thought it was season 2, wasn't it?
No, season 4 is when they were at the prison.
Was it season 4?
Yeah.
Shit, that's okay. I didn't think it was that far into it. Okay.
And the governor, I think, was middle of
it was right after. It was like 4 or 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they spent a lot of time on the farm. A lot of time on that farm.
Yeah. I feel like with the TV show that was like I right after the governor was when I kind of tuned out or I stopped watching.
Yeah, and they dragged that out longer than they needed to as well. That was another miss.
Another example of like why did I stop watching? Because I genuinely loved that story, like The Walking Dead, like reading it in trades, like, and I read it in a trade format. I think I said this a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
But that's the format that I read it in. But it was so fulfilling, and I'm surprised I never really carried it on with the TV show. And I don't know if maybe it was because I read the books and I just stuck with that. But then, like your case, like you read the books and watched the TV show, and I often wonder if that was an example of there being too much content, and I didn't get on at the right time. And, like, because I think about Titans too, and, Superman, and like the newest Superman,
which I really like.
And I feel like I would like it too. And I watched like the first 6 episodes with Oliver, and we just stopped watching it. And I feel like there gets to be a point where there's just too much to choose from, like just too much to choose from.
Yeah, and it just doesn't seem to be any. Well, especially now with all the streaming platforms, it's not slowing down; it's just speeding up.
And I say this as we decided, the boys and I, to rewatch the '94 Spider-Man cartoon, which
is easy. 22 minutes for 13 episodes a year. You're good.
My God, it's unbelievable. Like it holds up, and I don't know if it's just straight up nostalgia talking, but
no, it does. It's fantastic storytelling.
Like it's just like everything. It's like literally like I'm watching a comic book. Like I'm watching a comic book play out on the TV screen.
Everybody's jacked.
And like all these like overzealous reactions, and like it's so good. It's so good.
A lot of VO for Peter Parker.
And I was telling Oliver that it blew his mind actually that there was like the first Spider-Verse wasn't Into the Spider-Verse. It was season 5 of this TV show when you had like Armor Spider and like 6-armed Spider and whatever. And he's like, oh my God, Spider Carnage. And I was this close to just like jumping ahead and watching that story. I was like, no, you gotta watch like the whole thing. And we started watching it.
Yeah,
and,
that's Parker's problem too. He wants to watch. Which was the one with Venom? So you have to watch those 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have there's Chameleon, there's Hobgoblin in there.
And you know what? It on one hand, like we're watching it very slowly. Like we're not watching it every night. I'd say we're probably watching about 3 or 4 episodes a week. We'll probably cram in 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 during Saturday, and then like sprinkle in 1 or 2 during the week. But I almost feel like this is good because it's almost exactly like how we used to watch it as a kid, where it's like you got your one. There was no streaming service. No. Like it was like if you were lucky enough to catch it on season 1, episode 1, good for you. If not, then you just got to play catch up.
Yeah. I like that with having a boy and a girl when they pick shows before bedtime, is so it does stretch it out every other day.
Yeah. I think which one? What was the one
has he done the Batman animated series yet?
We tried. Yeah,
a little too dark. Slower.
Yeah, I think it's slower. Like for me, I love it. I would say it's up there as one of my favorite DC stories, like, or cartoons ever. But for Oliver, it was just like, I think it was just because it was very noir. It's very noir, and it's not. Yeah, it's just for not connecting with him for some reason,
I don't know why, but if we watch it, Parker only wants to watch 1 episode, and it's Heart of Ice. It is like the least entertaining, I think, episode of them all.
Which one?
But, Heart of Ice. It's the Mr. Freeze introduction.
Okay.
Where they completely changed the. Basically, he was rewritten for that show and can change the character like from here on out.
Yeah, and he's got his wife in like the little case or whatever. Yeah.
And he's just so like emotionless, and like there's like very little sound, like even just ambiance, and
then Arnold Schwarzenegger came in and just like
hammed it up.
Did we just have an episode where we referenced Arnold Schwarzenegger twice in 1 episode?
Hey, we want to bring up the passing of Ivan Reitman. We can talk another time with twins.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah. Done.
Lots happening. Yeah. The 3 references. There you go. Twins, Batman and Robin.
And what was the first one?
Jingle all the way.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah.
There we go.
See?
There we go.
We're old. We forget.
It's it's a long weekend. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So Parker, he's watched Spider-Man 94. He's watching the Spectacular Spider-Man.
So what year was the Spectacular Spider-Man?
Well, it's done through Sony.
Is it on? It's on Disney Plus, yeah.
I'm not sure because it is owned by Sony. It might be. Spectacular Spider-Man. Google's our friend. This guy, 2008, ran for 2 seasons.
Huh. Yeah,
It's also a quick watch, 26 episodes, 13 episodes a season.
Easy. Yeah. We started watching, like, as I said, the Spider-Man, and I'm also sprinkling in, like, the Uncanny X-Men. Each of them 5 seasons, 20 episodes per season, 22 minutes per episode. Like, it's like
that 90s X-Men cartoon also was, like, iconic.
They're starting up a new one. Did you know that?
Continuation, yeah.
And apparently it's starting up, like, right from the, like, season 5, episode 30, however it ended, picking right up and going on.
Yeah, and I bet that's going to be canon now with the MCU.
It could be.
Oh,
I bought a couple of Hasbro released a couple of, or a few I should say, retro toys based off of that show, and there's a Doctor Strange, a Jubilee, and an Iron Man, or a Wolverine, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought one of each, and they come in like a VHS cassette tape type case.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then Wolverine it's if you remember the first scene, he's holding a picture of Jean and Scott, and he's lying in bed. It comes with that frame, like it's full on nostalgic.
Nostalgia.
So, yeah, just knows how to play on the chords of my wallet.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
we'll grab you at the heartstrings. Then while we got you there, we'll shake out some pennies.
Just turning me upside down, like, what else you got?
Yeah.
What else?
Very much got? Just shut up and take my money.
That's right. I tell you.
So I've had this, not really a game, more of like a rapid fire thing that we used to do a long time ago on the show. It's basically like a this or that type thing. But since it's family day, I figured we'll do some family-esque things and see what your preferences of the two. So starting, All in the Family, Mama's Family.
All in the Family.
I remember I watched Mama's Family, and to this day I don't know why, because I never found it funny, but I watched it when it was on.
It was a spoof on the I can't remember the lead character's name, but it was a spoof on a character. Like it was a skit from a show, and then they turned
Carol Burnett show.
Yeah, it was a Carol Burnett character, because I think it was Carol Burnett, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a spoof.
It was on like TBS all the time, and I never thought
TBS,
it was funny.
For real? Mind you, there was no like, they didn't care about like who was being insulted back in the day. Like if it was funny, it was funny.
Either one of these shows.
Yeah,
couldn't do today.
No.
Family Ties, Family Matters.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Family Ties. Just
right.
It's a very close call, but like I'm an 80s boy through and through, so I'm gonna have
Alex
to say
B. Keaton for the win.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks as the drunk uncle.
I'll tell you, conservatism has never been portrayed better than by Alex B. Keaton.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
Now it's the opposite. It's all us liberal thinkers and our conservative parents.
But conservatism has never had a more wholesome face on their label than when Peter or Michael B. Whatever his name was.
Like Michael J. in his suit.
Yeah.
Family Man, Family Guy.
Oh, man.
I'll
let you go first.
I liked this movie. I didn't think I would. I didn't find it hilarious, but I did enjoy the movie. Nicolas Cage, underrated for sure. Family Guy, early seasons, classic. When it came back for a good run, but no, I'd probably still go Family Guy just from like it's still on. It's still entertaining. It's not like most things now. It's a shell of what it used to be, but I do like that movie.
I fucking love Family Man, the movie.
Yeah,
love it. Like every Christmas, I put it on, and Jade and I watch it, and it's just like when
movie.
all the hecticness is going on and whatnot. It's just a simple reminder of, we were meant to be together, and we're in this together. It's very sappy, but it has a very sentimental meaning for me. So I love it. I love that movie. And you know what? Like, I think Nicolas Cage had this career trajectory where, like, up to a certain point, he was a bona fide, reliable actor where you could put him in any role and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was good. Like, you could like buy it, Family Man. You could buy like The Cop as Con Air. You could buy Face Off. You could, like, there were just leaving Las Vegas, The Rock, like all these movies where you could just and he hit that point, and I feel like this was just before that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was the exit before his exit.
Yeah.
Anyway, my vote, Family Man, 100%.
Yeah, The Weatherman. I think he also was it
Weatherman is great.
That's Scorsese movie with was the ambulance driver.
I never saw that one.
I remember that.
I think that was after the exit, though.
Yeah, it was during the free fall of the Ghost Rider. Hello.
Oh, so bad. What was it? Gone in 60 Seconds too. Like that was like that. Okay, like I'm struggling. I'm struggling to stay with you.
It's an enjoyable movie. It's not great, but it's enjoyable.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm struggling to stay with you movie. Like I'm trying to stay with you. I'll do what I can, but it's tough.
Yeah, Addams Family, The Family.
Never seen The Family. Never seen The Family. Is that
just that's De Niro, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Is that Jake Gyllenhaal?
I don't know. It's not named in the title.
Is that Jake Gyllenhaal? No, it can't be.
You might have to look that one up. Almost kind of has a Justin Long look to him too.
I'm gonna say Addams Family, just because like it was. I mean,
I just rewatched both of those a couple days ago. Hilarious. Still hilarious. Still holds up. Cousin Balky, Cousin Eddie.
Oh God, that's so difficult. So difficult.
Don't be ridiculous.
Cousin Larry.
That's right.
Cousin Larry. What was in bonus points? What was the country that Balky came from? It was a made-up country. I don't remember, but I'm hoping you do.
Oh fuck! I just had it and then I lost it. Oh, God, I don't want to look it up, but I'm gonna have to look it up.
This is a tough question.
I know.
So wait, is the question like what would I rather watch more of, or who do I?
What is your preference here? This or that? If you picking one, it's this or it's that? Not for like desert island movies or something.
I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to say Eddie. I'm gonna have to say Eddie. I mean, don't Balky, I love you. I love you. And you are on standby at the airport for me. But I'm gonna have to go Eddie.
Okay. No, it's not in here. Curse you, IMDb. You think it'd be on there?
Yeah, no doubt. Was it Balky?
God. This is getting embarrassing. All right,
My
Balky,
post.
where are you
It's from my post. It's from Balky Bartakomos, and he's from the fictional island of Mypos, which is near Greece and based on Greece. Yeah, Mypos. Balky Bartakomos.
And he also I think there's an episode he's in Spider-Man pajamas.
What's it?
All right.
Okay.
Family vacation, family reunion.
Oh, that's tough. I'll let you go first.
I'd say vacation because you get to get away from the extended family and possibly a cousin Larry or Eddie or Balky that you don't want to see all the time.
Assuming you have one in your family.
Assuming
I'm
you
hearing
have
that
one.
you have one.
Or like, we always see in like the comedies with the aunt that, kisses with the red lipstick or pinches the cheek, whatever. Just having those awkward conversations with people you don't see often.
Yeah.
I avoid those at all costs.
Hey, I'll give you a whole quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, rub
A
that
whole
bunion
quarter.
on my foot. Yeah,
a whole quarter.
Yeah.
A whole quarter. I'm gonna say, if it wasn't COVID, I would say a family vacation, but because of COVID, I'm gonna say a family reunion. And the reason why I say that is because I want to go somewhere where I can see my family,
Fair enough.
but I can also offload my kids and have
There you
like
go.
aunts, uncles, grandparents like watch them, where Jade and I will be able to go to like the local pub for a pint and it be
Yep.
like a family vacation. So I feel like I'm shooting two birds with one stone here.
I didn't take into the watching of the kids.
That's what I'm going
That's
with.
clutch. That's always clutch.
Pre-COVID though, I'm gonna say family vacation.
Family game night, family bowling night.
Game night.
We just talked about taking the kids bowling. I don't know how they would do. I think they might break something.
Yeah, we're gonna say game night. We enjoy games around this household.
Video games? All games?
All games, video games, board games, card games. We just enjoy games. Bowling, I would just annihilate every one of them, so it would be fun for them. So. I'm like the Bill Murray of Kingpin fame.
Such a good movie.
That's why I wear a hat, because you don't see my.
Yeah, I got that going. Yeah. I think that was a genius move, was giving those guys those hair.
So good. It's so good.
Do you know he actually bowled 3 strikes in a row when they filmed that?
For real?
And those are genuine reactions.
I can believe that, actually, as you say that, because it looked like it was a surprise look, right?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with family game.
Family game. For the win. Although there's no wrong answers. Family pajamas, family sweaters. Which one are you wearing to match?
You go first.
I'd say pajamas, because then you're only seeing it in your household. You're not going to be the type that are, wearing the matching sweaters, taking the photo like these fine people.
Yeah.
Like I have matching slippers with the kids. They're all Grinch slippers that we got at Christmas.
So I'm a staunch believer that if you wear matching sweaters and you go outside of your house, then there's something severely wrong with you as a family.
Yes.
And there's no way of arguing yourself out of that. It's just what it is.
Yes.
On the other hand, I feel that the pajamas is something that we do, and the reason why we do that is it's a seasonal thing. So every Christmas we get new pajamas, we put them on, and that's fine. It's in the comfort of our own home. No one else will see us. Like, we can be as comfortable as we want. We can fart. We can, doesn't matter. But I go back to the people that wear the sweaters on the outside of the house. It like something wrong. There is something wrong. There's something wrong when
we took the kids to see Santa for a picture, and there's a family in front of us, and they all had their jackets on. And then when they took the jackets off to pose for the picture, they all had matching sweaters.
No, see, like, don't, no. It's, yeah. See, for me, it's like, it's not like, I'm saying it's not natural, and you're going to see Santa, so like, take it with a grain of salt. But I feel like
it's not what you do.
You don't need to. You're not at a fucking circus. Like, you just like go and just hey, how's it going? Like, we're all here. Like, you don't need to dress up and all be the same. And I don't get it. I don't get it. It's almost like you belong at a festival that's like, you've got like a song duet that's coming up, and your family is gonna be singing a song in the next act, and you gotta
like a Simon and Garfunkel cover.
Yeah,
with
oh, a bridge over troubled water. Like, no, stop.
family size or family pack?
See, that depends. Depends on if it involves Skittles or if it involves any other type of candy or chocolate.
So my thing is, where does it stop? Family size, party size? Like, what is it? Are they the same? Can you not have a party size for family?
No, I think the way that they stop it is that they stop it by saying that it's in a bag, because could you imagine? And you've done it. I know you've done it. You've sat on the couch or in your chair watching TV and you've had like the family size bag and you've had a few. And that's fine. But
the family shows up.
You have never ever in your entire life had a box on your lap while eating. You haven't. It's just you haven't. Or
Does a box of crackers count?
No.
Then no.
Like a box, like I'm talking like an Oreo mini, like a box. You've never had like a box.
No.
So I have to say that the family size bag is their way of telling you, like, this is enough. Like, this is the line. Hold the line, as the occupier said most recently here in Ottawa. Hold the line. It's with the family size bag. It has to be.
So you're saying is I can have a family size bag to myself, but not a box of individual packages for my family. Okay.
Oh, yes. Because individual, could you, like, listen, there's going to be a box on your lap and you're opening up individually the bags. So it's not like you're not interrupting yourself and the people that you're with 16 times. Whereas with the bag, you're just opening up once, boom, deal with it, put it away. No,
I get it. There's less shame in devouring a family size bag of
like
M&Ms.
I feel like there should have been that shame from the Game of Thrones. Shame with the box when it comes to the box, and that's my vote. Shame. If you want to have it.
Like if I buy one of those boxes and eat all 30 bags myself, not in one sitting, that's okay.
You better be prepared to show me your American citizenship.
To this day, I'm still scarred from the time when Ashley was in teacher's college, she was doing her exams in Potsdam, and we were coming back. I think we stopped at Burger King. Yeah, Burger King, and ordered whatever to go, and got the drink. I'm like, oh, it was a 2-hour drive back. So like, I'll just get a large drink, and they're like, oh, do you want to upsize that, like supersize that for an extra 20 cents? I said, all right, 20 cents, and then they hand you like this 2-handed cup that wouldn't even fit in a cup holder. I'm like, I can't drink this.
Here you go.
Yeah. I wanted the large. I think this is the small, ma'am.
Hey, they give it to you like, I hope you have someone in the back seat.
Yeah, I felt like they were taking out a rack of ribs like on the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And the car was going to tip over.
Oh.
I couldn't get over it. I'm like, yeah, this is why you're all 300 pounds.
I'm telling you, but that's just how it is there. Like so many times I've visited my dad down in the States, and like we went out for like a burger and fries, and the plate is massive. Like, and it was like a $5.99 meal, and it's like, oh my god, I could feed a family of 4. Like, why do I need to eat this much? Anyway, we can go on. Yeah,
we could.
So the clear winner here was definitely Family Man, because it was such a heartwarming movie,
and it got a shout out that it wouldn't normally get.
I started trying to watch Dune, the original, last night on Family or Disney Plus. Have you seen any of the Dunes?
No, I have not.
It was a bit much. Like, granted, it was at like 11:30. We went to bed, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not quite ready for bed. I'm gonna watch a movie." I put that on, and it's just like so much like explaining, and it was just like, I'm not like passed out, so I'm gonna try to give it another go. But I don't know
before you watch the remake.
Yeah, like I wanted to at least watch the original to see if it had any resemblance or whatever relationship to the remake, and I don't know if it does or not, but if it did, like, I hope they cut down the words by about 75%, because it was just like, too much. It was too much.
Probably for some people trying to sit through Tron before seeing Tron Legacy.
Yeah, like just not really knowing what you're getting yourself into, right? So
cool.
Anyway.
Well, I wish you luck with with that, because I know a lot of people who could even make it through the remake too.
Really?
Well, did you see Blade Runner 2049?
No.
That's long and slow, and that's what I've heard that this is too. It's build up because it's half a movie, right?
You're talking about the new Dune that's out in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really? You haven't heard good things about it?
I haven't necessarily heard good things. I just heard people say it was a hard sit.
So is it, sorry, and this is just me not knowing, like, is it a continuation of a story or is it just a retelling of the story?
They're redoing the movie, but it's going to be split over 2 movies.
Oh, fuck, really? Like 2 movies?
That's why it's like you're expecting this, but that's not going to happen until the next movie.
And like Oscar Isaac and Jason Momoa, like now that Jason Momoa's in it and it's 2 movies, like it makes sense. Like the guy's trying to prolong his career because he's not really a good actor. Let's be honest.
He's Aquaman,
but he's not good. I mean, Aquaman wasn't a good character to begin with. Like it's fitting.
I would have liked them to do like the OG look of Aquaman with the blonde hair and the orange shirt.
What about the hand or Saul's hand?
No, he needs the hands.
He needs the hands. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I shouldn't say that. I actually enjoyed Aquaman. Like it wasn't bad, but I also felt like I watched it so closely after the stank of Batman versus Superman, you know?
Oh, so you think if you watch it now, you'll start to see all the man behind the curtain, as it were.
The clanks.
Yeah.
There you go.
The bells and the whistles, the strings.
Tis what it is.
It is what it is. All right, that's open caller for this week. For Steve McCoy, it's Cory Willis, reminding you all to keep it casual.